Hi, in this lesson we're going to look at disagreeing with a conclusion statement. So I'm going to find the example lesson. It's this one. Is it reasonable to believe in life after death? Now this is the last stage of that lesson, and I've already made comments on two of the statements. And we'll be able to see that by clicking on the E stage. That's the very last stage. And we'll start with this one. So, this statement, there is no reliable evidence for an afterlife. This is a conclusion of this argument step, and it's a premise of the next argument step. Now let's see what I changed here. I added a note. Surely Jesus is an example of resurrection. And I changed the truth value, so my opinion is certainly false instead of true. Now the result is that this statement is greyed out. That means it's in conflict. And it's in conflict because I believe it is false, but there's an argument here saying that it's true. I have to get rid of this conflict. Now, the easiest way to do this would be to make this statement false. But I don't want to do that because this statement is certainly mostly true. So instead, I'm going to have to undermine this argument step. To do that, let's have a look at the critical questions. So I click on the argument step box and open up the critical questions. I've got two critical questions. Is it typical that no one comes back from the dead? Well, the answer to that is certainly yes, and that's the same reason I didn't want to change the truth of this statement. But the other one, has anyone who has died given an account of the afterlife? Well, that's exactly my point, that Jesus did. So I'm going to use that critical question. Now, I actually have a statement over here that will do just that for me. So I'm going to rearrange things slightly. So that we can do this. This statement, Jesus' resurrection is proof that there is an afterlife, will be able to undermine this argument step. So what I do is I click on the link box, I drag the arrow and I click on the argument step box. I'm going to link this as an evidence statement. It's going to undermine the second question. So, has anyone who has died given an account of the afterlife? So I click on undermining statement. There we go. That's made an evidence arrow from this statement to this argument step. That has completely undermined this argument step, so the purple bar has gone, and that means there's no more conflict. This is now false. So let's look at another example. The other example is over here. It's the statement, there is evidence that people have had past lives. Now, I've made a comment on this. I don't think the evidence is very strong, and my opinion on this is that it's false. But just as in the previous example, it's become conflicted and it's greyed out because there is an argument step in coming to it that says it's true. So what do I need to do? I need to undermine this argument step. So again, I'm going to click on the argument step and look at the critical questions. And there are two. Again, it's a generalized argument step. Are these cases typical instances of recollecting a past life? And are these accounts of rebirth persuasive? And I'm going to concentrate on the second one of these. Now, I don't have a convenient statement that undermines this argument step, so I'm going to create one. So I click on the plus statement button, and that adds a statement to the argument graph. And then I need to put its text in here under edit statement. And I'm going to fill in the statement text. Right, that has added this statement to the argument graph. Accounts of past lives could be unreliable. And I'm going to use that to undermine this argument step in the same way. So here, are these accounts of rebirth persuasive? Undermining. And that connects this statement as an evidence statement that undermines this critical question. That defeats this argument step, so it has 0 strength, and it means the conflict is gone. And I've managed to make this statement false. That's the end of this training.